Right, we got MATTDRENALINE on the stand today with his current views on Gears 5. Now, MATTDRENALINE, a few days ago, said that he was wanting to smash his head off a wall because he just hated the game so much and he couldn't believe what TC had done. And he said he was going to do a video on the current state of the game. So I know I said I wouldn't cover Gears, but he's one of the only people on Twitch that have legit been partnered through playing Gears. And he stopped playing. So we've got let's say what he's got to say. It's 8 minutes. Let's have a look.
What's up, gamers? How do we do? So I posted up a tweet the other day and I said I'm putting out a short
I know, Matt, I've already covered it, mate.
video on my views of current state of the game within a couple of days, right? And I suppose this is what it is. And this is not a video to shit on TC at all, because like I've always said, I'm very grateful that we've had a Gears game to play for the last while, okay? Since
I'd also
very grateful we still have a game.
I'd also like to say that TC, like, even though people think I hate TC didn't do that bad of a job. Like, so you've got these people on Twitter, right? And these people on Twitter are like, oh, if we could only go back to the Gears 3 days. Gears 3 days, man, they were peak. You know, the Gears 3 days, the shotgun shot you across the map. You could spawn with a retro lancer and a sword off. Really wasn't any good maps. Like, there was a couple, but if you were to like rank a tier list of maps out, Gears 1, 2, and even some Gears 4 maps would be in there. Not really Gears 3. And you also had this like prestige system with colours. You didn't really get anything for prestige, and you just got some colours, which people nowadays would call lazy. And nobody played Gears 3 towards the end. It wasn't like Gears 3 was booming, the franchise finished, and then everybody went and played. You know, everyone was waiting, you know, and it was kind of fading out with the trilogy, to be honest. So let's carry on. Matt's the show here.
And I've said this for the last few months. The game, once Operation is dropped, once I found out Operation 8 would be the last one, I knew that it was time to really try to think about something else, because this is what I want to pursue. Like, for me, I want to stream, but there's no more opportunity in Gears 5. And I feel like there's no more opportunity for people that want to stream, really. To a certain extent, like, there's a level which I peaked when I was getting Twitch partner on Twitch. And that was a huge achievement. And I'm so very, very proud. And I'm so grateful for Gears.
That's a massive achievement. Like, to get partnered from Gears is a huge achievement.
I was able to get that. I think I hit my peak a while ago, and there's no more room for me to grow. So I think it's time for me to really start looking at different games, especially with Gears not coming out. Then the next Gears estimated to be 2024, right? That's just too long. The game is extremely uninteresting right now. I think the ranked system is just appalling. So
there's a lot to break down there. So he feels like he peaked. So I felt like I peaked when I was streaming in a different way. He peaked because, well, I don't know. I don't want to sum up his journey. He can sum up his own journey, you know, better than I can. But I felt like with me, because I didn't involve myself with like any of the montage crowd, any of the esports crowd, I felt like I peaked with my audience. Like, I could have maybe pushed it more. I could have definitely pushed it more and been a bit more consistent. But towards like my quote peak, I was getting like 30, 40, 50 viewers was like baseline. Like, I'd just sit there. Some streams I'd be hosted up, some streams I'd sit there with like 50, 60 viewers, which for me, coming from a channel that never gets views, like right now, what am I streaming to? 16 people, and 16 people is an enormous figure for me. So for me, it was a big thing getting that amount of views. But I felt like I hit my peak because I couldn't reach anybody else, because there was nobody else in the scene to reach. And my audience was there. But if I'm not willing to, you know, kiss ass and dabble in all of the other people, you know who we're talking about, if I weren't willing to mix with those people, you don't get their viewership. And in a way, there's a lot of kind of fake viewerships. There's a lot of people that sit on 100 views because there's no one else to watch, and they all pass each other's viewers around. So there's like a pot of, say, like 200 stream viewers that all get passed around between each other. And for me, the ranking system, like for the, it's probably like 4 or 5, 6 months ago, like the ranking system was just me playing the same two dudes. Like when there was skill-based matchmaking, I played the same two squads over and over and over again. And then when they sort of wound it back a little bit, I was kind of like, what am I even playing for? The person we're watching is MATTDRENALINE.
It's painful to play. I don't get any enjoyment out of playing the game really anymore. And it's not to say I'm not going to play the game at all. I will, and when Operation 8 drops, I'm sure I'll hop on it for a little bit. But it's really just to kind of stay a little bit in the Gears scene for a small bit. But there's no future, and
I get that. I totally get that. What he's basically saying is he'd love if he could transfer his viewership to a different game, because him having 70 to 100 plus viewers on, say, COD, League, whatever, you're up there. You then can reach another audience, but unfortunately, you have got to. That's why I've done it as well. I'm not like, I might look stupid, but you've got to stay in touch with the Gears people, because those are the people that are going to come in and watch. So if I don't cover Gears at all, you do have people that say, yeah, go on, drop the game, never play the game again. But if you do that, they actually won't tune in. So you do have to balance out your audiences.
I don't want to tell people to not play the game at all, but I would urge people to use their time better. Maybe if they're really interested in competing in games. Gears is not, sadly, there's no future, especially for EU.
Definitely no for EU. Definitely
EGL,
no.
I don't think I've even announced another split coming for the game. So all those people in EU that have competed for so long will have nothing to play for.
React harder.
But it's not even just that. It's not even the competitive scene. I don't even compete in it. I haven't in so long. Now, I think that's the only thing that I might find some enjoyment out of playing the game, but I'm not going to do it because it's a waste of time.
So with the whole competing thing, it's kind of amusing. Nothing to do with Matt. But when people say, I think the people from Gears should just transition to a different game, there's like this notion that these dudes are at such a high level of Gears that they can just transition. There was that one guy, Mental, right? Mental transitioned from Gears to COD. And he sort of was quite known, so he got in with a pro team, then worked for a full year, then got his chance. The people from Gears don't have that ethic, man. Number one, they're not known enough to even get on the scouting level of a actual other team. But the other games are really, really difficult. I've just played League, right? Full ranking system. You can play all the way up to Challenger. The Gears pros, I feel like they just want to click. They just think they're going to click their fingers and be like, well, all right, we'll play Gears 5. We'll get the cash for Gears 5. And then once Gears 5 is finished, I'm just going to become a pro on a different game. And it's just not happening.
I think the leaderboard system that they brought in recently is awful. Man, I think it was a good idea short term. It was a short-term fix when we got the update. It was a bit exciting. I was for a small bit, but then I realized what's the point? It doesn't come down to anything. You can be the most skillful player at the game, and it doesn't matter. All it comes down to is who's the biggest vampire, who doesn't go outside, who stays in playing the number one guy on the control leaderboard as a 0.9 KD. Not to shit on him, but a 0.9 KD, you're dying more than you're getting kills. It's ridiculous, and he's up the top because there's nothing else to separate. It's so ridiculous.
That's true.
I feel like there's no skill gap, and I was looking back at like Gears 4, right? Gears 4 used.
So the ranking system, this is what I said to him. Either just when the game started, just do a complete free-for-all with no ranking system, or relentlessly work on a ranking system that, hell, even if it's broken, just keep working on it and get it ready for whatever, the next update, the next game. But they just completely abandoned it and put in this leaderboard system, which everybody now, you look at people's stream titles, grinding for top. Nobody cares if you're grinding for top 100 in anything, mate. It's like he says, it's just the vampires, man. It's for the vampires with a 0.9 KD, like that. Those two Mac guys that were flaming me, that play 632 hours a day, can't aim, can't play. And then they'll put like, oh yeah, I'm top of the leaderboard in Gears. And for people on the outside will think, all right, it's top of the leaderboard on Gears, must be good. No, There's like, think about it. There's a reason people don't grind leaderboards these days. Like achievement hunting's dead. Blue versus red, machinimas are dead. All this old stuff that used to be super popular, it's dead for a reason. It's not exciting to chase a leaderboard. Like, I'm playing this thing, right? And I'm not really focused on my rank, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, hey, if I get better, I'll rank up. I'll go through the divisions. I've got like splits. I've got like who's the best in Challenger. You know, these are the very best players in the game on the ladder. You can even go and spectate their match if you want to go like that. Why do I want to play a random game of Gears of War with no skill system and nothing? Because the thing is as well, because the game's not very popular, you're only getting 2 people, complete newbies, or the vampires that have never left the game and sweat and are in a stack. There's no difference. It's just boring.
To be like, I know John Fallout said that Gears 4 was the most skillful controller shooter back then. And I think like Rainbow Six came out then. But I do agree with that. I think it was the most one of the most skillful controller games. And I've been top 2, if not the top. That's the competitive playlist. And I just don't know where the game is gone. I don't know where the game is gone. I think it's a tough one. And I think the crossplay was 100% necessary at the start when the Operation 7 first came out. It was getting in different lobbies between different people every single day. I mean, every single game. But it wasn't matched. The games.
Do we not think, though, that the crossplay was necessary from the beginning? Like, it was advertised as like, oh, this is a crossplay game. So a lot of people wanted to play crossplay. And they couldn't play crossplay. And if crossplay had been in the game from the get-go, by now people might have calmed down. And they also might have found ways to balance it. I remember we were talking about some other devs, like different recall patterns for mouse and keyboard, all this kind of stuff to try balance it, right? But basically TC just went, right, no crossplay, let's not even think about that. And then they flicked the switch, I guess when the Series X came out, and there was no viewers and no players, should I say. Then they threw everybody in together, and now everyone's upset at crossplay, which I don't even understand, because Gears of War is probably the best game when it comes to crossplay in terms of balancing the two. Like, if you played Counter-Strike and it was crossplay, the controller guys are doing nothing. But Gears, you can easily hold your own with a controller. It's not that bad that it merits shitting on everyone that plays on PC.
Or just a lot of kind of Game Pass Garys, you know what I mean? A lot of Frederick Joneses, and you're just shitting on them.
Shout out to the Game Pass Garys.
Game attacks. Now I've started the game, and I solo queue a lot because I'm not a little bitch ass. But I said,
true.
Operation 7, I'm gonna just
shout out to all the solo queuers that didn't stack up, not the PC squads that would sit in the Discord calling out to each other like LAN finals.
Stack, because what's the point in not stacking? So I did for a long time. Then I was just like, I'm sick of getting a big team. Every single game I go into, I'm playing against stacks, and I'm playing against the same names that I've seen for months and months. And it's just like, this is so cringe, because it's not fun for the team that's stacking because it's so incredibly easy. Although some people do enjoy that, a little bit strange to me. It's not fun for them. It's not fun for the 4 solos that you get put up against. So it's not fun for anybody. So I don't understand. It's very, very difficult to find any balance.
Well, I would say part of the reason is they're not any good at any other game. They don't have another game they can go on. So they probably like stacking up because it just secures the win. They get to feel good about themselves. They get to dominate some solos. They get to think they're good because they've never put time into any other game. So Gears is the only game they got. So if they start putting in this skill system and they start saying, solo queue only or solo duo, they're going to have to split up with a team. It's like I saw people moaning saying, yeah, you can't have solos and duos in Gears because it's a team game. It should be 5v5. I'm like, well, League of Legends is a team game, but you don't allow people to 5-stack because it breaks the game. I think people just are holding on to the fact that Gears is the one game they're good at, and they kind of gatekeep it, and they like to keep themselves like at the top. It's kind of sad.
Matches, unless it's just the same lobby over and over again. And there's just, I don't see any direction. I haven't been for so long. TC, I don't see any direction in the game at all. There's never really any announcements. There's no clear throughout the whole game. It felt
There's
like
no,
there was you never.
tell you, there's no direction, mate. They're sat in people's montage discords talking about one shot, one kill montages and ignoring my ticket for 6 months and ignoring people that have had double payments, ignoring people's accounts that have got broken, ignoring a whole load of stuff. But they just want to pop in occasionally. Like, I've never seen TC interact with MATTDRENALINE once. Not once have they had him on a show. Not once have they interviewed him and said, yo, this is the... Like, think about this, man. This is the first person from Gears that has been partnered through playing your game primarily. He should have had an interview. They should have praised him. They should have said, let's see what he's done. Where's he going? They don't interact with him at all until he put out a tweet that said, I ain't enjoying Gears at all. And then Shawnee came along and said, what seems to be the problem, Matt? We're going to pass your feedback. They ain't going to listen to your feedback. They don't listen. The feedback, they get the note and then they pass it. And what they're passing it across is to a big shredder. It's just going across to the big shredder. They'd never engaged with him at all. They just saw that, oh shit, this guy with a bit of following and a bit of clout has come out and said something bad about our game. We better interact. We better interact to shut it down. They're not actually trying to... Well, we know they're not, because they're done after Operation 8, right? And they're making other games.
Really knew what was really going on. And what kind of gets to me is that... Let's just have a look real quick, right?
Oh,
I feel like...
transition!
Negative is said about TC or about the game, it gets so much attention, right? I just like... Any negative... And this isn't just me. And it shouldn't be like this, and it's a bit sad. It shouldn't be like this.
I
agree.
agree.
A scary time for Gears.
See, he's probably going to point out this is what I found myself doing, and it was completely unintentional. But basically, if I do a video, and this is for any game, but quite really badly for Gears, if I did when I did a video saying that the smoke grenades were one of the best things they've put in Gears, nobody even watches that video. If I say I did a video about, there was quite a few dev streams where the titles were like TC finally turn it around, you know, there was a lot of good stuff. Like, not everything was bad. There was a lot of good points in there. They wouldn't get any mentions or anything, but the second you say something a little bit bad, everyone's like, yes, 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 the game's shit. But in the same breath, you're also told by another crowd, like I was yesterday, that if you speak negatively about the game, you're part of the problem. There's plenty of negative stuff about the game, but just don't mention it. Like, why?
And it gets so much attention, so many comments, and then one, scrolling down a little bit, it was this one, 171 likes and 26 comments, and just
I'll tell you the reason I'm part of the problem in this, in a way. The reason I interacted with this, and I don't really interact with people's Twitters, was because it's nice to see a large personality on the game speak out. That's why I interacted with it. It wasn't so much, you know, the entire content. It was just more like, hey, there's someone else out there that's actually saying something.
So much engagement, right? High Coalition Gears. Once upon a time, I couldn't get enough of Gears 5, but the lack of development and a sad excuse for a multiplayer experience has led me to want to smash my glorious head off the wall. Every match is inconsistent and matchmaking is pathetic. Cheers. Now, this is, like I said, this video is not to shit on TC. And I think, say, TC Shawnee, I think he has a very difficult job. I think Dana did also. When you take up that job, take up that role, you're just a face.
They have, so I know it's an impossible thing to do, but it would just be so much better for the person in the support role if they were just, if it was just like said to the community what that person is. Like, if they did announce Shawnee and said, look, Operation 8 is the last piece of the game. We understand that there's probably issues with the game that you're not happy about, but Shawnee is the support guy. He's going to answer your current tickets, current issues, like, you know, maybe a playlist doesn't work, but they hype up everybody to be like the quote savior, and that's why they end up getting a load of shit, because suddenly they ain't the savior. It's like when that new developer got announced for Gears, everyone was like, oh shit, a new lead developer for Gears. We haven't even seen a single sentence from them. Not even, I hope you really enjoyed Gears 5. We know the Operation 8 is going to be the end of the game, but don't worry, we've taken everything on board. We might not have acted on it, but any old waffle. But there's been nothing
of the game that everybody goes to complain to, and I really like him. I think he's a really, really nice guy. I thought Dana was also, and it's not a tough job.
I think Dana, Octus, and Shawnee are doing an all right job. Dana did a great job. I thought he was good at the way he hosted. I think occasionally he put people on the hot seat, and I think he could have organized the dev streams like to be a bit more structured. I thought Octus started out really poorly. My interaction with Octus, and I'll tell you this, man. You want to know why I'm even here? So I was stopping streaming. I wasn't playing anything to do with Gears, right? The only reason I'm still here today is because of TC Octus, because he was sat playing escape mode, and it pissed me off so much. That's the truth. We loaded up Gears 5, and there was no servers, and the game just wouldn't work, basically. And after like 4 days, I was like, this is unbelievable. Like, there's no checking Twitter. I was like, because I hadn't been involved in Gears in about 8 years, so I didn't know what the state of the game was. I thought they must have a Twitter, big presence. I came back, I was like, they're not tweeting, or they're not saying anything. So I joined the Discord, and at that point, the Discord wasn't as popular as it probably is now, because it was just beginning Gears 5, and I joined in there, and you could see on the right-hand side, TC staff. There was one TC staff member online all the time, TC Octus. And he was sat playing Gears 5 every time. And I was in the Discord going, I don't know if you know this, but people from Europe can't play the game. We haven't been able to play the game now for like 4 or 5 days. Is there a refund? Is the game broken? What's happening? And after about a week, I just had enough. So I just used to go in the Discord and just tag him. I'd be like, hi Octus, how's your escape match going, mate? I see you've just made it to wave 3. Hi Octus, glad you're enjoying Gears 5. I'm not enjoying Gears 5. I'm from Europe. And I'll be honest, I was a bit of a dick. But I just ping him every day and he just wouldn't respond. Nobody responded in that Discord. So then I made that rant about, don't even fucking bother putting any money or time into this. This is dead. They don't give a shit. That's when I should have quit. That's when I should, when I saw that, that's when I should have quit. But yeah,
it's not an easy job.
So it's not an easy job. That was my point. He's reminded me. Thanks, Matt. It's not an easy job, but they didn't help themselves with the way it started. He could have just said anything. Hey, we understand Europe's having major issues. Bear with us. And then I think when it eventually all got solved, after about, it's probably like a good month until it was stable, they gave us like 1 week of boost.
And I would hate to be in it personally, because it's just where everybody complains to.
But it is a shit job. This is why when people told me, hey Z, you should apply to be the community manager. Why would I want to be a community manager for Gears? Like, sure, like, in a way it would be fantastic, but at the same time, like, I'd only ever be the community manager for Gears if I could rule with an iron bloody sword and ban everyone. Some guy tweets at me, hi mate, I just got 99. I'd be like, send me in the clip, mate, let me analyze it, and if you're wrong, you're getting banned. Do you still want to send in the clip? That's what I'd be saying. Obviously you can't do that.
This got so much attention, I didn't even bother replying to it. Either Shawnee did or did reply, but I just didn't even bother replying to him.
So Shawnee replied and he didn't bother replying to him, and you know why? Because it didn't feel genuine. It just didn't feel genuine, did it? Like I said at the start of the video, I've never seen anyone interact with Matt. Never seen anyone interact with him, and then all of a sudden, oh, what can we do for you? Let me roll out the red carpet. What, like, it's not genuine, is it?
Tim, and that's none of them are me. So that's kind of where I'm at. I think the game has always favoured the NA scene, which is kind of understandable because it's so big, and the LATAM scene. But it's just like being from EU, and it's not just me personally. You know, I don't want to get anybody else involved really, but I say it on stream all the time. It's like, say the likes of Riot, the likes of Shadows. Shadows been dedicated to this game forever, and it's just like, and he's in EU, and he's like the biggest content creator for the game, pretty much, and put so much into it. And it's just like, where's the recognition for kind of anything? It feels like, I feel like, I don't know. Now I don't deserve any, because whenever I'm on stream, I say some mad stuff quite a bit of the time. It's just
So
like,
that is the thing. It's like, I remember there's a video somewhere on my YouTube, and so there was a big forum post about streamers and YouTubers don't get enough credit. But the thing is, neither do the other games. But the difference is, with the other big games, if you're Nick Merckx, you don't need Activision giving you a shout out or giving you like a little perk, because you're making millions, aren't you? So you don't really need anything off them. They'll go to the events and all this shit. But if you're in a small community and you're really fighting for it, and you also get no recognition, it does suck. Because it's like, if you don't, you know, say thanks to your core audience, they ain't going to stick around, because they'll just think to themselves, well, I may as well go be a much smaller fish in a bigger pond.
I feel like EU has always been in the back of everything. It's just, you know, it's just a bit like, why am I kind of wasting my time anymore? Because I could just go to another game and get treated kind of really well. They're not even that. It's not that I get treated badly. It's just like, I feel like there's a lot more opportunity elsewhere.
Exactly.
And that's like, once again, it's not the shit on TC. I know they're fucking busy. I know they're busy trying.
That's the thing. For example, I could go to the League of Legends scene, right, and post only League of Legends videos, and I would be treated the exact same as if I was doing Gears. Even though I'd done Gears for 15 years, you don't get treated any differently. In fact, I probably got treated worse in some regards. So he's probably thinking to himself, I'm a partner on Twitch. They ain't doing anything for me, neither is the game. I may as well go play a game that's much bigger, that's going to do nothing for me. Because at least if I fucking make it work, there's growth there.
To fucking please people, which there's too many people to please, mainly because the game fucking sucks. But that's what it's at now, which is a shame, because I love Gears so much. And when the next Gears comes out, of course I'll play it. But for now, shame. That's where I'm at with the game. So
you can kind of tell as well. You kind of, that's how I felt. It's like, it's such a shame. Like when I was getting 20, 30, 40 viewers, and I was like, oh, this is going pretty well. Like I could actually do something here. And then it just kind of plateaus. And if you don't mingle in with all of the cliques and the in crowd and the high schoolers that like to pom cheer each other, you kind of plateau. And you kind of like, man, I really like this game. Like I really enjoyed playing that League of Legends game, but I'd much prefer to be playing Gears, like a quote fully fledged Gears, right? But you're like, this is just sucks, man.
Yeah, appreciate you gamers watching. Now I am probably still gonna play the game, but I am gonna kind of tap into some other things.
Now you see here, this is where Matt says I'm going to play some other games. Now, when I said this, what I got for 6 months was, hey bro, I thought you were going to quit Gears. So I hope he doesn't get that, because this is what the position I was in. He clearly likes the game, but it's just not possible to play it. Like, you can't play Gears of War 5 like for like 8 hours. It's literally not possible. There's not enough to do. The only people that can do that are the vampires grinding leaderboard. You know? You're right, Jack. You can mix it, but the problem is, like, he's probably thinking, why even bother mixing it? Because he ain't getting anything out of Gears, really. He's probably getting payouts on Twitch and subs and all of that, but he's probably thinking, well, if I did this much effort for a different game, I could get that and actually have a fun experience. But I do agree that you should mix and match, and that was probably a problem that I should have done. When I was playing Gears 5, I probably should have said, like, you know, Monday to Wednesday we play Gears, and then the other days we do something. But because you really bloody like Gears, you do play it all the time. That's when you can tell someone enjoys the game, when they're playing it all the time. But it is true. I don't think TC did something like TC didn't take over like the world's biggest franchise and make it shit. That's what everyone seems to say. Like, you see all these big things, like I say, about it's particularly the people that loved Gears 3 and did the montages on Gears 3. They've got this thing in their head. Like, wow, Gears of War was the biggest game, and now they've taken it to nothing. I'm like, no, like, Gears of War 3 towards the end, like, even midway through Gears 3, like, that was the beginning of, like, if I remember, like, your League of Legends, your Dotas, your Global Offensives, your free-to-play esports games were really taking off, beginning to take off. Like StarCraft 2 was up there, and like Gears 3 was not on that trajectory. Gears was on a downward trajectory.
Try to get to the next level, because sadly there's no more opportunity with Gears, and that's it from me. So quick little video, nothing too long.
Appreciate
Until
that.
Next time, gamers. Obviously, I'll be on Twitch.
Appreciate that video. Check him out. Twitch.tv/MATTDRENALINE. Check him out. Give him a like. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame, because I also do kind of you know, I'll go to my screen now. Where's my League client? Yeah, I do kind of think as well. Some people are a bit. I don't know. There's some people that jump ship a lot, and that kind of frustrated me. There was like one Gears Pro, and it always stuck with me. Always stuck with me, and I thought, really, like he got 2,000 subscribers for Gears, and he was like, "This is it, full-time Gears, all of this. You know, this is the greatest game, greatest community." Then ditched for another game, realized it just couldn't transition. Left it for ages, and then all of a sudden come back. Yeah, Gears 3 is the best game ever. Gets the big influx of subs again. Ditches again, comes back. But I remember the quote. He got 2,000 subscribers and he said, right, I've hit the peak with Gears now. Time to move on to another game. And I thought to myself, like, is that what you were playing for? Like, just 2,000 subs and then nothing else fucking mattered. So, yeah, I understand there are going to be people like that in the scene. But it is a shame when someone genuinely does really, really like the game and, you know, wants to keep playing it and do more content, but they just feel like I say, like Shadows, man. 100,000 subs, biggest Gears channel there is. Doesn't even post gameplays anymore because he's like, there was no point. He's going to work on, like, I think, like, lore videos, because obviously there's a bit more outside reach. You know. But yeah, at least, you know, like you say, Jack, at least he can sit there and say, yo, you know what? I did good in Gears 5. I reached partner. You can take that experience with him to a different game. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to think like, yo, before I started Gears 5, I didn't really have a YouTube channel. Especially didn't have, like, consistent viewers. So at least at the end of it all, even though it all went to shit, I can say, well, at least I learned some stuff. You know, even if I go back to 0 viewers, I'm like, yeah, I definitely learned a lot from making videos basically every single day for like 2 years. But yeah, it was slightly irritating. Like, sometimes I thought, like, it's not that you want praise, but when you're in a small scene, I would think to myself, yo, I've done like 60 dev streams fully covered, presented your points, given my own thoughts and opinions, and in the dev streams, I was always really, like, calm and measured, never shit on anyone, always calm and measured, always gave as well, because I didn't just want to be a guy that was like react. So I always tried to give what I would do and some thoughts and tips, and not once did anyone ever say to me, apart from Node was like, really liked your analysis. No one said, yo, I really appreciate that, you know, putting out the dev streams to a different audience. Nothing. Absolutely zero. And it was like, okay, like, I'm not asking for praise, but like, you then get other people do, like, you know, someone would do like a list of questions for the dev stream and they get a massive shout out. And I always remember it did leave a salty taste in my mouth. People started to do the dev streams that I was doing because, well, people saw they were getting views. That's kind of how, like, content works. And they wouldn't have me on the show. They wouldn't ever have me on the show. And when asked about me, and at this point they had my CV, they knew who I was, I'd spoken to a few of them privately, and on the dev stream they went, "Oh yeah, we did have a question from that GGZ guy. I think I know him. Yeah, that GGZ guy. He's the Gears of War 1 guy that wants everything to be like Gears of War 1. That was the only time I was mentioned on the dev stream. And I thought, really? I felt like saying, really? Come on. That's what you've taken away. I don't want the game to be like Gears of War 1. Gears of War 1, like, wasn't a great game in terms of, like, get stuck to cover, glitch out of the map, crab walk. Like, it had some decent mechanics for 2006, but, like, I think it could be bigger and better. But, yeah, it really left a sour taste in my mouth when he just went, "Oh, I think I've heard of him. Yeah, it's that GGZ guy. I think he wants everything to be like Gears 1. And then they kind of laughed it off. And I was like, well, anyway, thanks for doing 60 dev streams. Just make me sound like a complete prick. I was like, yeah, that's when I just like thought, oh, what's the point? So, yeah. Anyway, good reaction. React harder. Like, comment, subscribe.